I'm excited to have you here today. What we're going to be talking about is why trainers struggle talking on the gym floor. So in today's video, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys is the tips and tricks on what you need to do on the gym floor and why trainers struggle. I've been doing this it's my 13th year in a professional gym. I've been a personal training manager. I've worked with a lot of trainers over my time. And this one thing has been the reason why I've seen trainers struggle on the gym floor. It doesn't matter what gym they're on, where they're at, private, public, wherever it is. I've seen tons of trainers come and go. And if they can master this one thing, I guarantee your business will blow up for 2026 going into 2027. So most trainers don't suck at training. What they actually stuck at is communicating confidently with people. That's what I would say. When it comes to going on the gym floor, it's not even about the intention of being able to train people. A lot of trainers come in and they're enthusiasts. They know what to do for themselves. They don't want to get jacked. But where they're lacking in is communicating with other people and actually get into the nitty-gritty of why people want to do the thing they want to do. So here are a couple stats for you to remember. When someone joins the gym, day one, client member joins the gym, by the first month, 80% of those members who join stop coming in. Okay? Right off the top, churn is high in the gym. So right away, people need you to communicate with them. People need you to make this place feel welcoming. And what happens is trainers have this elitist mentality. That's the number one problem that people say about personal trainers is that they don't communicate and they don't talk. Because what ends up happening is that they have their headphones on and they're walking around. And instead of talking to members, they're there being enthusiasts. You gotta go from being an enthusiast to a professional. So when I first started, I had the opportunity to start in a gym called Good Life Fitness in Canada, Ontario. And when I first started, I was a schmoozer. Being a person that does say it like this, I walk around, just talk to every single person on the gym floor. Was it awkward? Yes, it was. Now, I'm saying it was awkward, but here's the thing. I'm just gonna be real with you, is that for me, when I first got started, I was released out of the penitentiary in August, and I was working at a gym in October. So August, September, 3 months, October. That felt like the longest 3 months of my life. Oh my gosh. Never thought about that. Anyways, I was working in a gym. So my mentality was I didn't want to screw up the opportunity. And I was hungry. And for me, going on the floor, that's all I had to do in order to be able to not go back in. I was doing it. And to keep my job, I was doing it. I can go on the gym floor and talk to everyone. Was it scary at first? Yeah. Scary part was the rejection. I had to get over all that. I had to get over the part where people would be like, I don't want to talk to you. But for me, it came, I don't want to say it came naturally, but a lot of the aspects of the jobs that I had prior prepared me for that. So like giving you an example of the jobs I had prior, I worked in retail at Foot Locker. I worked in retail at Sport Check. I worked at the exhibition as a gamesman for 2 summers, and then also Ribfest as a gamesman. So for me, I was used to talking to people on like random people and calling them out. I'm like, hey you, hey you, hey you. So for me, I did all these other things that I did help me when it came to gym floor. I also recently had a job working with the company MasterCard, trying to get people to sign up for credit cards and grocery stores. So I was prospecting in grocery stores, walking up to strangers and saying, hey, you want President's Choice cookies? And then they would say yes. And then I'd bring up my iPad and say, okay, for credit card, and they would, right? So I just came from doing that too. So when it came for me talking on the gym floor, it was very simple because I've already been doing that. So one of the things that kind of beyond the background and the things that I did was thinking about like, then this changed my mind. It's called a reframe, change your mindset. So the way I thought about it was like this: it's a party, it's my party, and I invited all these people. I'm the host of the party. As the host, what am I going to do? So as the host, what do you do for a party? You make sure the guests are good. You make sure that they have their drinks. You make sure that they got their food. You make sure the music's not too loud. You make sure they're enjoying themselves. You ask, how are you doing? How's everything? So for me, that's how I viewed it. So I just walked around and talked to people. How are you liking the gym? How's the music? How's the weights? What are your goals? And I just generally just cared. And in the process of me doing that, I built relationships with people, talking to them. And from there, that's how I got a lot of my clients in the beginning. Trainers think confidence comes from conversations. It comes from competence. And I'd say this from my point of view. As I grew in terms of my trainer knowledge, my confidence rose, which I was able to talk to people and get results. When I first started, I felt like I was drained at the end of the day. And that's because I didn't know my capacity for output of talking to people was maybe that high. And as I was working it, right? And just how you work out and you do progressive overload and you get stronger, it's the same way when you're talking to people. Your capacity for talking to people in the beginning might not be as high. Now, as you progress as a trainer and you're working on the gym floor and you're talking to people, guess what? Your capacity for talking to people is going to exceed and go higher. So right then and there, what you're going to do, go on the gym floor today and find 2 people just to talk to. They can say, hi, how's it going? My challenge to you is this. You're pause this video and here's the challenge, okay? On your gym floor right now and go talk to 5 people and get their needs, goals, time frame. That's all you gotta do. Go talk to 5 people, get their needs, goals, and time frame. Time yourself and see how long that takes. And now, depending on how long it takes, like let's say it takes you 5 minutes, cool, do it again. And I'm not talking about booking a consult. I'm just talking about just going out there and getting the reps of just talking to people. Because I find a lot of people don't do that. I call it paralysis by analysis. So you're sitting there waiting and looking for someone. And it's like, and I talk to trainers all the time and I'm like, what are you looking for? They're like, looking for a client. I'm like, what do they look like? By chance, tell me what a client looks like, right? And I don't know what a client looks like. What I know is that there are 3 criteria that I look for when I'm doing a consultation, when I'm talking to people on the gym floor. Here are the 3 criteria. 1 is that they have goals. 2 is that they're willing to talk about their goals and find solutions for them. 3, they're willing to come in the next 24 to 48 hours. That's it. I don't care about their jobs. I don't care about their past. I don't care about anything else except their fitness. And those 3 things I find help me decipher who I should be talking to on the gym floor. So I'd say the biggest thing that changed me when my approach towards the gym floor was seeing the fact that trainers weren't doing it. It wasn't that other trainers were succeeding. In my club, there was no one talking on the floor. So I looked at it as a lost opportunity, and you can look at it too as a lost opportunity. And if you're watching this video and you're working at a gym, at a big box gym, maybe you're working at a Good Life Fitness. Shout out to Good Life. It gave me a job. I'm very happy. I'm proud about that. Now, but here's the thing. If you're working there, I guarantee you there's not a lot of people that are walking on your gym floor right now. Not a lot of trainers walking the floor just talking to people, offering to spot people, offering to give people advice. Most trainers are just coming in, training clients, leaving, or they're doing booths. And then to do a booth, they stop doing a booth and they walk, and they don't talk to people outside of work. And the number one thing you gotta do is you gotta schmooze, you gotta walk around, you gotta be the party. So here's the issue. Most trainers put too much pressure on the conversation. And because of that, they think the interaction needs to become the sale. So what ends up happening is instead of trying to get to the person and just talk to them, all they're doing is like, okay, breathe, and then go up and like, hey, how's it going? And the person says, I don't want training. And then they don't know how to rebuttal that. So here's how I rebuttal that off the gym floor, okay? So when I walk up to somebody and I say, hey, how's it going? You know what? If they say, oh, I don't want training, I say, that's amazing. I didn't really ask you about training. What I asked you was, how's it going? You know why I do that? It's called a reframe. I want them to understand that I'm just trying to be human right now. I'm not trying to get after you for your business. I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you right now. I'm in a discovery mode. I don't know if I want to train you. I'm the one picking the client. You don't pick me. So I'm getting to know who you are. What's your goals? What is it about? And if you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. But don't tell me I don't want training, because we're not in that conversation yet. There's steps to this. And when you understand that there's steps to this, At that point, you know how to lead people through those steps. If your number one job as a personal trainer is to understand what are your steps and where you're at and lead people through that. And as you lead people through that, you'll understand that when someone says, I don't want training, that's the bottom. But I haven't asked you any of the qualifying questions yet. So you're trying to cut to the end, and it's like, that's cool. But what I ask you is, how are you doing today? How's the weather? And like, I don't want to talk about any of that. I'm just here to work out. You know what? I'm so sorry to bug you. If you need anything, let me know. Peace. Walk away. That simple. Go talk to the next person. And guess what? Because you're going to go talk to the next person and not let that person that is having their moment affect you, that person's going to see you and think, man, I was a jerk. That person just asked me how I'm doing. It's like, yeah, being human is a thing. And building rapport and getting to know people, that's what really works. I'd say it like this: you stop sounding salesy the moment you stop chasing outcomes. And one of the things I stopped doing is I stopped chasing outcomes. I stopped looking at people and saying they need to buy. I don't go on the gym floor and say I need to find a sale. What I do is I go, all right, I need to find someone I can help. That's where I start. My heart is there. So once I start there, and that's my intention of going on the gym floor, when I go talk to people and I'm just looking for people to help, I might see someone doing a lat pull down wrong, or doing a tricep extension wrong, or something, there's an opportunity. I just walk up and say, hey, how's it going? Hey, I just noticed you're doing it like that. Is there a reason why you're doing it like that? No, I thought that's how I'm supposed to do it. Let me show you, if I was to show you a new way to do it, would you be interested in that? Yes, I would. Let me show you. Period. You just started the conversation, and right away that you're starting conversation and showing people, and if they're like, I don't want personal training, it's like, that's amazing. What I ask you is, how are you doing today? Right? Go back to that reframe. But most times when you approach people like that, they shouldn't be acting as like, oh, am I doing anything wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. All I'm asking is, how come you're doing it like that? I'm curious. When you go off with curiosity and just seek to understand people, what you're going to find is that you're going to start understanding people. You're going to start understanding why people do the things they do. And then from there, they're not going to feel pressured about making a decision, or you're not going to feel pressured about making a decision. The sale hasn't started. This so-called sale hasn't started yet. So the thing that relieved me from sales pressure on the gym floor specifically is, I'm not trying to sell you anything. My job, I don't look at it from a point of view of that, am I expensive or not, or any of that stuff. My job is to qualify. And as I qualify people, I'm just flipping rocks. And I'm finding out which rock is the right rock for which opportunity. So some people might be the free assessment. For some people, it might be boot camp. For some people, it might be one-on-one premium training, 6 months to a year. And my job is just to move people around to the right positions. So I'm going to show you the number one way to start conversations on the gym floor, okay? Here's how it goes. Here's my secret. Here's what I do every single time. Ready for this? Hey, how's it going? That's it. That's literally all I do. I walk on the gym floor, I have a big smile on my face, and I wave. The number one thing I do is I stop people. I go like this. Big hands. Wave. Hi. I make myself big. Hey, how's it going? Right? Because I make myself big to grab someone's attention. The moment you make yourself bigger, people can't stop but look. And at that point, you grab someone's attention, and then you say, how are you doing? Pleasantries. That's all you gotta do to go on the gym floor. Just walk up to people and say hi. That's how you start friendships. A great book that you can read that might help you is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'll drop it over here. There's another good book that I started reading. It's called How to Win Customers. And I'll drop it also right here. And you can see those books, grab it off Amazon. The thing that makes conversation feel natural is being in the moment. You're actually genuinely listening to people. When you're looking at those two books that I just mentioned, How to Win Friends and Influence People and How to Win Customers and Influence Them, both of those mention the fact that all you're trying to do is just be present in the moment talking to people. Your job is not to sell them anything. Your job is just to be there. And at that point, when you're being there and talking to people, at that point, they're going to want to be there and talk to you. And they're going to feel like I'm being heard and understood. So from there, your number one job is not to create, your job is to create opportunity from comfort first. So what you're doing is you're trying to make the person comfortable first. Once you make the person comfortable, how to win friends and influence people, so you're making friends. Once you make them comfortable, then you can ask for what brings you into the gym. Hey, how can I help you? Because now they know that they're comfortable with you. And once they're comfortable with you, they'll tell you, oh, my knee hurts. Oh, cool. What's wrong with your knee? I banged it up. oh, okay, like, how'd you do that? Like, genuinely care about these people. And I find the gap that a lot of trainers don't do is that the reason why the number one excuse that people tell people is like, I don't want personal training, is because here's how the training interaction sounds like. They walk on the gym floor and say, hey, how's it going? Have you had a personal training starter before? No? Would you like one? That's all transactional. And the problem is you can't be transactional. This has to be a relationship. Now, mind you, it's long PSA. There is a transaction that's happening, and when the transaction goes wrong, trust me, it will become transactional. But understand, the best relationships and the best personal training clients are the ones that you build relationships with. Those are long forming ones that'll invite you to their children's weddings, and they'll buy you birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and all that stuff. But you want to make sure that it starts off as a, hey, this is a friendship that we're building, and from there, it's like, I'm a professional, I'm going to make sure that you feel comfortable, but like, I'm not going to, it's not a, per se, that's unprofessional. It needs to remain professional, because the fact that when it's no longer professional and someone does no longer feel safe, they'll walk away from the deal. The number one mistake that trainers make is the neediness of needing a sale. They think that it's all about the transaction. I need a sale. So they walk up to people and they just say, hey, how's it going? Do you want training? No? And then they're like, no one wants training on the gym floor. Yeah, what's happening is that you're just being, you need the sale. What I do is I make sure that I don't need the sale. Okay? Remove myself from the outcome of sales and more looked at the focus of how do I help more people, right? So here's my mentality: deposit, 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 withdraw, deposit, withdraw. From there, I can withdraw because I'm depositing. If you don't deposit, you can't withdraw. What trainers are trying to do is they're trying to withdraw from the membership base without depositing anything and then saying no one wants anything from them. I had a member here who's been here for roughly about 20 some odd years, has seen every trainer come in and out of this gym floor. And then he bought a year of training with one of my trainers because that trainer focused on depositing a friendship and talking to the person, getting to know the person, offered him free sessions, gave him a small little package, showed him what it is that he can do for him. And then he bought a year. He could have afforded a year the entire time. The guy's a millionaire. No one's ever talked to him in terms of trying to get more other than, hey, you want training? No, it's okay. He doesn't want anything. Meanwhile, he's a multi-millionaire. There's people like that walking around your gym floor right now, and you're missing out on those opportunities because instead of depositing and trying to find and help people, you're looking at like, oh, there's no one here, the FAs aren't giving me anything, and you're complaining about not receiving when you need to be focusing on giving. Communication changes your entire life, and when you focus on it, not just on the gym floor, it helps you focus on a lot of things in life. For me personally, from communicating with my wife, communicating with my children, communicating with my community, my church, my friends, my family, mentors, communication is the number one thing as humans that we do, and you have to forever work on it. I am no way near perfect, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to make mistakes. I know I am. My job is never to be the perfect person. Neither is your job. Your job is just to focus on getting 1% better every single day. What does that look like? It's improvement. Right? The goal is not perfection, the goal is improvement. And when you're focusing on improvement, it's like, well, when is enough? There's never enough when it comes to mental, spiritual, physical, right? And when I look at it, it's like, barring the fact of you getting to the disorders is when you're so obsessed with one thing that everything goes chaotic. But my focus is holistic, everything. And when you're looking at communication, if you learn it and you learn how to do it, it changes your entire life. And I'm forever working on my communication, working on communicating with my trainers. I'm not perfect at communicating with all my trainers, and I'm completely honest. This thing, can't remember what it's called, but my colors. And I think about this all the time. My color, based off of the test that I did, I'll put the actual name of the test somewhere and a link somewhere. You guys can go check it out for yourself. But the book is called Surrounded by Idiots. Here's the book. You can find it. My color. Here's my secondary color. Here's my third color. Here's my last color. This are opposites. And I feel it whenever I have to talk to any of my trainers that are like this. It takes a lot of me to be green, which is just focusing on leading with empathy. It's a scene, man. It's hard. And I say this from a point of view that in terms of communication, it's hard, but I'm going to try. and I'm going to continue working on it. I know it's a weakness, and when I get into my modes of just focus and get things done, green is the first thing to go, because it's not as important, but I know it's important for a lot of people, which is why I try and get people that are focused on being green, on creating events that bring people together. The conversations you avoid today will be the opportunities you miss tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, the gym floor is a gold mine full of tons and tons of clients, right? Most of your gyms are going to have anywhere between, if you're working in a big box gym, as low as 1,000 to high as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 members walking in on a regular basis. Your foot traffic could be as low as 500 to 2,000 per day. There are people walking on your gym floor that need help. Here's another statistic for you to remember, okay? Write this down. The average person in Canada attends the gym 13 times in a year. Okay, I'll repeat that again. The average person in Canada attends the gym 13 times in a year. So that means when someone gets a gym membership, when they start January 1st, they will probably only come 13 times that year. That's once a month, if that. So when someone says, I'll be back, I'll talk to you, I'll see you later, I'll catch you on the other side, let me try this on my own, understand, the odds are so much against them. And so when you understand that, the caring goes up, and that's where my passion is, that's where my foundation is that once I understand that, so my foundation is that stat, and I live on that. So when someone tells me I'm gonna go try it on my own, I'm like, listen, okay, I hear what you're saying, but honestly speaking, you're telling me something that is it's against what everyone else is going to do. I want to help you find something. We need to put you in something, because you're more likely to stay in the gym if you have things to attend. Boot camps, classes, personal training sessions. When you're getting involved in something, you're more likely to stay. So I know that you might be scared on going on the gym floor, and there might be some anxiety. I get it. And guess what? At the end of the day, it's going to be there, but what are you going to do about it? Are you going to conquer it, or are you going to allow it to stop you from living the life that you want and living out your dream and actually doing the job that you said that you want to do? You chose this job, you chose this position, you chose what you wanted. You said you want to be a personal trainer, you said you want to help people. What's stopping you? The only thing stopping you is you. So stop stopping yourself and focus on, how do I make this happen? Start with small steps, all right? Maybe I'm just gonna talk to one person every single day. I'm gonna get myself out of my shell. Week 1. Week 2, I'm going to talk to 2 people every single day. I'm going to get myself out of my shell. Week 3, I'm going to talk to 3 people every single day and get myself out of my shell. That's really slow, but it's got to start somewhere. Maybe you start in a motivator position at a gym because you're like, you know what? I need to get used to talking to people. Let me just focus on starting in the front desk position. Because that's a great place for people to start, because you're forced to talk to people. Personal training is talking to people. You need to talk to people. You need to be a communicator. If you cannot communicate with mass amount of people, personal training in a big box gym, even on your own, is going to be really difficult. And I can go in and talk about what happens when you're on your own in another video, because that is a whole other beast. So remember this, the conversations that you avoid today will be the opportunities you miss tomorrow. All right, the next video we have coming up, and then we're going to be talking about how to keep clients long term, so you stop consistently chasing new clients. Okay, one of the biggest things as personal trainers is focusing on, how do I get clients to stay with me for a certain amount of time. If you can keep the clients you have for a larger period of time, trust me, right now your job is not to find new clients, it's find clients and then keep them as long as possible. If you can keep your renewal rate anywhere between 70 to 90%, you're not going to be looking for new clients that much. People are willing to sign up for a year of training. People are willing to sign up for 2 years of training, 3 years of training with the right coach and trainer. And I'm going to show you how to keep those clients long term. Make sure you stay tuned. That's going to be day 6 coming at you next week. Peace.